So, Wayne Dyer says that if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So, what does that really mean? I think that most people that are watching me heard that expression from Wayne Dyer. But did you really reflect on what that really means? And so I do that all the time. I always ask myself, what does that really mean? What is it what it means to me? Because I hear other people talking about it, but usually that doesn't help me. That doesn't work for me because I'm me. I'm who I am. So you should really ask yourself, what does it mean to me? But I want to point at something. I want to show something here. Another way of looking at this. So what if it means that the way you look at things is coming from a place, and I keep on repeating it because it is so important to understand it changes your life. All the anxiety, depression, all the bad stuff just falls away when you understand that your reality is just the expression of what's going on inside of your head. So your outer world is just the expression of your inner world. So if you look at things a certain way, that means that this is what you are thinking about. So let me give you an example. And it is something very how am I going to say that? It's sensitive. I know I'm going to lose people here, but that's okay because I'm not here to poo-poo everyone and to just tell you what you want to hear. So if whatever is coming out of my mouth now is triggering you, then you can do two things. You can sit with that, with the trigger, and ask yourself, what is it? What is happening inside of me now? What's going on? What are the feelings? What are the emotions? What's coming above? Or you can just suppress what you're feeling and just watch the next video. And the choice is up to you. But let me talk about a topic that's um, very hot right now. And a lot of people use it and abuse it. So when you're in a relationship that you really don't like, oh, he's a narcissist. Okay, that could be. But what does that say about you? And I know this is triggering a lot of women, but if you really want to get away from narcissism in your life, it's not about those narcissists in your life. And if you have one, you usually have multiple, and it started very young when you're young, and just go and look, and there are what we would call people with narcissistic traits, because I don't like labeling people. Um, It is very easy to say somebody has narcissistic traits. And guess what? We all have narcissistic traits because the first thing is that you cannot see in other people what you don't have in yourself. But that's for another video. But let's now say that if you have narcissists in your life and your life is the expression of what's going on inside of your head, what are you doing inside of your head? To project that, to make that movie. You are the writer, you're the editor, you're the producer, you are everything of your movie. So if the people around you have narcissistic traits or treat you like how narcissists can treat you, what is it? What are you doing to yourself? What are you thinking? What creates that reality? A lot of questions. And so I had the fortune or the misfortune to be surrounded with people that have narcissistic tendencies. And I had to brutally look in the mirror because everything around me is a mirror. So when I face somebody with narcissistic traits, I'm looking in the mirror and I can ask myself, what's happening here? Why am I creating that reality? What is going on? Again, we're not going to do that consciously. We're not consciously creating narcissistic relationships. We're not consciously going into those relationships. And again, there's a lot of different aspects to this story, but I would love to stick with what we said in the beginning from Wayne Dyer. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if you change the way you look at a narcissist or somebody with narcissistic traits, that person can change. Because if you change the way you look at them, the thing is going to change. So that gives us a lot of power, but it also gives us a lot of responsibility. Because you see, there is only you in your story. All the other people are just a reflection of you. Okay? So once you learn or you change what it is, and it's different for everybody. I can't speak for you. You have to do the work. Your world outside, your relationships, your health, where you live, your house, your car, the money in your bank account, it is all a projection of your inner world. So if you want to change something outside of you, you need to change inside. So the work that they always say, you have to do the work. The work is not to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, do a cold plunge, meditate for 25 hours, do all the affirmations, write it all down. I'm not saying not to do that, but the real work is going inside and create another reality. Do the work inside, go inside. The inside is going to change your outside. So if you can change the way inside that you look at certain relationships in your life, those relationships will change. Or there's always, I said this multiple times, but I left that whole relationship path because of the fact that most people are really not willing to hear this because it is so painful. And I get that. Trust me, I get it. But the only way to get away from it, because the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I was scrolling like everybody else, and I was looking through it, and there was many posts about people in narcissistic relationships, and I'm like, wow, why am I looking at this? Why is this showing up? And I went inside because if I see it in my feet and and I'm thinking, there's something I have to do with this. And then it came. I had to make this video. I have to talk about it in my own authentic way. This is part of me being authentic and also not putting it away. Like, I don't talk about it because I'm afraid that people are going to judge me and say, oh my God, she's there, the narcissism. It's still like a little taboo. It's still something I don't want to talk about. And so I need to change my inner world now in order to change my other world. So I had to sit with it and ask myself, okay, what are the feelings that are coming up? What are the emotions? And it is my message that came up that it's so easy to talk about. He's a narcissist, he's a narcissist, narcissist. Try to see the other side. Try to see that if you look at these people differently, with compassion, with empathy, and it doesn't mean that the way they treat others is okay. It's not okay. It is not okay at all. And if you are listening to me and you are in a relationship that is very toxic and that is very painful and abuse, whatever it is, I would love you to seek help, talk to people. I am not saying that that it is not real. What I'm saying is that if you want to change the relationships that you're in, you need to change the way that you see those relationships. And instead of being judgmental, try to look at it with love, love for yourself, love for the soul that that other person is, to show and be thankful that they show you something about you, because that's where it all started. They show you what's going on inside of your head. And because of that, they are behaving in a way. It's a way of looking at it. I'm not saying it's true. It's just a way of looking at it. And the way is to think, okay, there is a message for me. Am I going to take that message and run with it and do something with it, do the work? Because in our society, there is so much narcissism going on because the people that are looking at that narcissism also have to do their inner work, because it wouldn't be there, it wouldn't have to be there if we could all look at it with different eyes. If you don't, if there is no reason for it to show up in you, then it doesn't have to be there anymore. And that's with everything. And I know how delicate this is, what I'm saying right now. And I'm recording the video, and I'm not even sure while I'm speaking the words that I'm going to be courageous enough to put it out there, because this is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. But if you have the courage to consider it and to look at it with curiosity, to look at it like, what is she saying? I am the projection now of what's going on in your head. So what I'm saying is created by you. I know this is so deep, you guys, but it changes the way that you look at life. When something shows up in my life that I don't like, my whole life I took the blame on me. I'm like, I knew for a long time that my thoughts create my reality. And so when something happened in my life, I suppressed it because I said, no, 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 I'm better than that. I'm not thinking that. I don't want this to happen in my life. So I don't think about it. So if I don't think about it, it's not going to happen. So I blamed myself for having the wrong thoughts, which is also a big mess. That is like spiritual ego. I'm better than that, you know? It doesn't work. You need to do the inner work. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to go to who you really are. And you have all the aspects of life. You have narcissism in you. You can't, if it exists, you have it. Everybody has everything. It's on a scale. Narcissistic traits are on a scale. And the goal is to be balanced. The goal is not to be triggered, because you see, if there is no reason to trigger you, it's not going to happen anymore. So for me, I'm very, very grateful that I had the courage. I I can pat myself and say, good job. Because I had the courage to go inside and to really find out where my narcissistic traits are. And not only that, I also had the courage to look at the other people with love. Doesn't mean that I have to condone what they're doing. Again, I want to separate those two. I want to separate those two. It's two different things. There is no condoning of things that are not appropriate. Not at all. But there is also the love that you have for yourself to not let that happen anymore, to walk away, and to say, not happening anymore, and be courageous and make that decision and look at it with different eyes. Look at it with the eyes, what is it that it's showing me? What do I have to learn here? Not thinking, why is that other person doing this to me? Because that means that you think that life is happening to you. Life is happening through you. Through you. Yeah. Take it in, take it in, take it in. It is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. No matter where you are in your life, if you can see things differently, the things that you look at will change. And I know they will. I know, because I am experiencing it every day and I look at it with awe and with wonder and with like, I'm like, wow, it really works. I'm still in that phase and I'm thinking, oh my God, if I really do the work, if I really shift it inside, it changes. My reality is changing in front of my eyes when I do the work. And I have many people say, the work, the work. What do you mean by doing the work? Again, doing the work is not outside, although those things are also important. You have to go to the gym, you have to do the exercise, you have to drink the water, you have to meditate and get your dopamine under control, and you have to relax your nervous system. And I'm not saying that all those things are not beneficiary, but that's not the real work. That's just the normal work. The real work is go inside and sit with your discomfort. And then breathe, because now I'm already giving you some tricks on to get, it's like when I sit with my discomfort, it's as if I can jump out of my skin. I have to go do something because it's so uncomfortable when I hit another wall, and I hit walls up my body, mind, even though I'm like so far from where I was a decade ago. There's still things coming up that I also want to jump out of my skin. There's so much anxiety in me that I can hardly contain myself. But I sit with that discomfort. And now, because I understand that if I sit with that discomfort, at one moment there comes this sweet release. And that's also like another thing that you can get addicted to. I'm not saying, because when you learn how to really sit with the discomfort and breathe through it and allow it to be there and just give it space and let it expand. And then at one point, poof, it's gone. And that release it's nice. It's a beautiful feeling. The peace that comes with that feeling is unbelievable. And it's part of being human. So if you are triggered by narcissists or people with narcissistic traits, go inside, sit with the discomfort, sit with that. What is it that it does with you? And it's going to do a lot. If you're triggered by it, it's going to do a lot. It's going to do a lot. Sit with the discomfort. If you can't stand it, you're not you're you're not doing it wrong. If you can't stand it, if you sit with it and you can't stand it, you're doing it right. That's what I learned from Joe Dispenza. When you are sitting there and that's when you finally are getting somewhere. And then when you can just breathe through that, allowing it to be there, and I'll use Dr. Joe's words again, that's a victory. That's a victory. And then you look at, and then the next step is you look at the person that did this to you, and you send them love and understanding. And again, that doesn't mean that you have to say what you did to me is okay. No, 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 no. That's again, totally different thing. But you send them love because they have their own shit to deal with. Excuse my language. I have to be careful. I'm too excited now. And then when you really have the courage to do that, all your relationships are going to change. And you're going to start laughing at some points. You're going to laugh. You're going to say, oh my God. It's hard. It's not simple. It's easy to talk about. It took me decades. So I know this is, if you're still with me right now, you're still listening to me, that takes a lot of courage. And if you also want to do the exercises, that takes even more courage. And if you need my help with that, I'm only one schedule appointment away. I'm always here for you. I'm always here to help. And I know that this is a little bit of a different video, and I'll think about it again if I'm going to, if you're listening to it, I made the decision to post it. But it is intense. All right, you guys. If you have any value of this and you know somebody that could also benefit from this, although it is a very hard subject, please share. And I would appreciate it if you also subscribe to my channel, because that also helps me to make content. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful day, you guys, and see you next time. Bye-bye for now.